Better bust out that wallet, beanbags, because the Joey 10% to the big guy tug on your dog's tail broken foot administration revealed this week that the supposed promise that nobody under 400K would get a tax increase applies to families, not just individuals. Typical bait and beanbag switch, Aunt Jemima. There's no surprises there. That's how they do it. Big Blue, you're killing us. But mean tweets. Tweets are so mean. Those were some mean tweets. Yeah, it's about time all of us rich folks pay our fair share. Oh, it's almost 40%? Okay. This barely there, stumbling, bumbling, tall glass of corruption teeny has been promising on the campaign trail for a year that he wouldn't raise taxes on anyone making over $400,000. I promise. Now that's a promise. Take it to the bank. But hey, who cares what people say? Who cares about words? Who cares about what words actually mean? He promised on the campaign trail the entire time, committed that nobody making under $400,000 a year would receive a tax increase. It's a promise. But because they think you're dumb, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen just casually dropped the bomb that this actually applied to families. And when asked in the White House press room if it applies to families, Jen circled back and just goes, yep, families. So if you or your wife make $200,000 a year or $400,000 combined for your family, you will be getting a tax increase. Who cares? Who cares about words? This is fine. And that's just federal taxes. That doesn't even include state. In states like California, where the state income tax is one of the highest in the nation at nearly 10%, that means that people in the state of California, families making up to $400,000 a year, could be taxed nearly 50% of their income. But mean tweets. The tweets were mean. They were mean tweets. Big Flo is looking pretty good right now. 0% state income tax. Big Ron's Kingdom, Freedom Zone. Meanwhile, in the southern tip of Big Ron's Kingdom, partygoers in South Beach, Miami have been making the news again as more than 1,000 arrests have been made and 86 firearms have been seized since February 3rd. Now, most people that live in South Florida and the greater Miami area know that mostly out-of-town people, visitors, and tourists go to South Beach, especially at this time of the year. Most local residents would not be congregating there, especially now. Although the mainstream media seems to be blaming this on crowds, people casually forget that Ultra Music Festival, Miami Music Week, and Art Basel are large festivals that occur in the city of Miami every single year and oftentimes draw hundreds of thousands of people, most of the time with very, very, very little incidents. Certainly not like this. These people are fighting each other in the streets using glasses and chairs as weapons and just being an embarrassment to themselves. These people should be ashamed of themselves, and I can assure you that this is not Miami Beach or Miami residents. But what alarms me the most about this is how people, you can't get away from these narratives. Miami Herald, come on, dog. The Miami Herald put out an article yesterday titled, "Black Leaders React to South Beach Spring Break Curfew Crackdown as, quote, unnecessary force." The first sentence of the article says, after weeks of uninhibited partying on South Beach by spring breakers, Miami Beach police turned away throngs of people, many of them black and brown, from world-famous Ocean Drive Saturday night using a SWAT truck, pepper balls, and sound cannon. If you have seen pictures of these crowds or watched the videos of these crowds and watched the videos of people fighting, you do see commonalities in their skin color. But that has absolutely nothing to do with the content of their behavior. It doesn't mean that just black and brown people are there, and it also doesn't mean that this has anything to do with anybody's race. What does race have to do with this? Here's the answer. Nothing. The article says the use of force to clear out people of color from South Beach alarmed black leaders. I was very disappointed, Stephen Hunter Johnson, chairman of the Miami-Dade Black Affairs Advisory Committee. He said, I think when there are young black people on South Beach, the response is, oh my God, we have to do something. Dude, what does this have to do with... I think that this is yet another example where race has absolutely nothing to do with anything. Yet people, the leaders of the black community, are now sounding this alarm and accusing these cops of behaving this way because they're black, or accusing city commissioners of instituting these lockdowns and curfews because they're black and brown people. What evidence do you have to suggest that? Just because there are predominantly those types of people there doesn't mean that you can't just draw those connections. In my opinion, this further interjects race where it actually has no position, where nobody is doing anything because of anybody's race. Just because it seems to be that way, or those are the people there, doesn't mean that it's based on race, doesn't mean that the actions are based on race. It's based on the actions and the content of their behavior, not their race. No one thinks about race except racists. The problem that I see coming from this and all of these other interjections of race into non-racial situations is that this is just going to impede the Miami police and other police departments from being able to do their job. Because when they go to do something, they have to be like, oh no, that's a black person. Oh no, that's a brown person. I can't do it because of the way that it's going to look. And as a result, those cops are going to get injured, private property is going to be destroyed, and more innocent lives will be damaged as a result. A big part of policing is being able to react in an instant. And if you have to consider somebody's skin color before you take an action or before you make a decision, that split-second decision could cost you your life, could cost you your safety, or could cost innocent people or innocent property owners their safety or the destruction of their property. Miami Beach Mayor Dan Gelber said the curfew and causeway closings were aimed to prevent more violence and disorder. He said, quote, "We're not targeting a group of people, we're targeting conduct. If you can't keep the streets safe, then you're not doing your job." Yeah, yet these black leaders in the Miami Herald are pushing this narrative that this is based on race. Why are you doing that? You're not helping anybody. But whatever, who cares? Who cares about words? Who cares about things? Who cares about what actually happened? Doesn't matter. Who cares about behavior? No personal responsibility. Whatever, equity. But apparently words don't matter, and apparently context doesn't matter, because it seems these days that every single person is just trying to get a headline, is just trying to get attention, is just trying to draw some arbitrary connection between something else and something completely unrelated. Today's headline comes from none other than financially illiterate and do-nothing Senator Bernie Sandbags of Vermont. Bernie Sandbags doesn't have the most basic understanding of how finances work based on his previous comments about credit card interest rates and a variety of other nonsensical jib-jab that he spits out of his face. We can just casually overlook the fact that he's been a political hack for 25 years, produced absolutely nothing for the free market, not run a business, not successfully signed the front of a check or employed pretty much anybody on his own accord in his entire life. And his entire 25 plus years in politics, he's passed nearly 3 bills under his own name, or sponsored 3 bills under his own name, 2 of which had to do with renaming post offices. But cool, yeah, let's take advice from this dude. He unsuccessfully ran for president twice and was cheated out of the position by his own party after spending months and months telling you to not trust the main candidate. And then as soon as he got zapped by his own party, just being like, vote for the candidate, vote for Joe. Bernie Sandbags is the human equivalent of somebody yelling at you to get off their lawn, except it's not their lawn, it's the park's lawn. You're just sitting there eating a picnic with your family, but he doesn't like the fact that your sandwich is too expensive. Everyone deserves a sandwich. The greed that you would buy that sandwich. It's so hilarious that Sandbags lives to slay on Twitter. Somebody needs to figure out how he can slay his haircut. Maybe get a comb, dude, but whatever, I digress. Who's the target of Sandbags this time? Well, it's none other than Elon Musk. Bernie Sandbags said that Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos own more wealth than the bottom 40% of people in this country. And that level of greed and inequality is not only immoral, but it is unsustainable. Greed? Financially illiterate Bernie Sandbags is accusing Elon Musk of greed and saying that it is immoral. Elon Musk has successfully created tens of thousands of jobs and hundreds of billions of dollars of economic impact that has benefited humanity in the positive. Elon Musk was one of the original founders of PayPal, which is one of the largest banks in the world, and ranks 204th in the Fortune 500 list of largest corporations in the United States. PayPal single-handedly to this day employs nearly 22,000 people. He has a variety of different companies, but just his company Tesla alone currently employs nearly 71,000 people. Tesla alone produced more than 500,000 1,000 electric vehicles last year. Yet do nothing, produce nothing, create no jobs, create no economic impact, absolutely understand nothing about the economy. Bernie Sandbags is going to suggest that all of this output, all of these jobs, and all of these products and services that people love that move society and move humanity forward is greedy and immoral. He kind of just casually forgets that Elon Musk could just retire, close up shop, and never work again a day in his life, or any of his kids ever work a day in their life ever again, and he would produce nothing and no jobs. But whatever. Bernie Sandbags is a useless, virtue-signaling garbage merchant, and as he attacks Elon Musk, a private citizen that created his own wealth on his own accord, I just find it absolutely hilarious that he blames Elon for problems in the tax system, hungry people, and homelessness and healthcare. Maybe if this complete and totally useless clown sneaker would take a closer look at the federal government structure and how we squander tens of millions and billions of dollars shipping our precious dollars overseas, he could focus on that instead of focusing on private citizens that output tremendous amounts of value and economic input that benefit humanity and the country as a whole. Instead, maybe take a closer look at the government, you socialists. Hey, who cares about words? Who cares about anything? Let's just listen to Bernie Sandbags as he says that this level of inequality in America is obscene and a threat to our democracy. Sure. You know what's really obscene? You know who's really greedy? People who work in the federal government and government employees. Those are the people with the greed. Those are the people that are doing obscene things. I wish Bernie Sandbags would have a little bit more self-awareness.